I think we're live right now. I'm not sure. Oh yeah. Okay. Here we
Yeah.
go. Yeah. It's Rosen.
Yep. I'm somewhere here. Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have the portrait right here. I'll tell you.
You don't have to rotate it. You can
Ah,
turn it back and forth anyway. We're not making industrial lighting
yeah,
magic
I'll
production
tell you.
now.
I mean, it just sucks right now with this. Can't see both of us at all. There's no landscape. All right, there we go. That's the only way we're gonna do it.
I don't know if this will work because it's this rotate device. I mean, I don't know.
All right, let's rotate the device.
It doesn't like the panorama system. No, it won't let you upload
No,
it.
it's not gonna let me do it.
There it
Fuck
is.
'em. See, there it is. Okay, I just met Rosen right here. We're just hanging out here, and we don't have to disclose the area. We're in Westchester County right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about flat Earth.
Flat Earth. Okay, since you brought the subject, I'll start with something simple.
Okay.
The educational system.
I know your wife's going to call you in a minute.
Yes.
So is mine.
We have limited
All
time,
right,
but
so
anyway.
we're limited. All right.
The educational system, you're born, you go to kindergarten, you're boy, they give you tracks and tools,
Mhm.
you grow, they give you this and that,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. And somehow they shape you according to what you're capable, then you go to school, and this is where it starts. All the molding, the brainwash, if you want to call it, doesn't matter. So in the communist system, we were big in science and not anything about religion. This
Mhm.
was normal.
Nothing. You were born into it, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
born in 1977, so I'm 42. Imagine.
Okay.
It fell apart when I was 14. So anyway, my basic up to the teenage was under communism. So there was no religion. We didn't know about it. We knew that there is a communist secretary party, blah blah blah, and science. So whatever we learned there, as far as history, geography, any science.
And you've never investigated flat Earth at all?
No.
No.
I mean, I read the books of Magellan, Fernando Magellan, how he
Sure.
went around the world,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. And again, this is something that is like hard information on a hard copy, which is a paper back in the time. You read a book. This is what you're given.
People don't read books anymore.
Yeah. So if you take, that's my opinion, if you take a child and from day one in the school you start to convince them that the earth
Am I in there with you? All right.
the earth is flat or it's a cubic. And you walk to one point and then you get to the gravity and it pulls you down to the other flat side and then you go. They will believe eventually one day anything. They'll believe it's a pentagram or whatever. You can shape it as you want. So based on my own thoughts, the education is something that shapes you to be ready to go in the society and be a member of the society with your input for the bigger group of the whole earth.
Okay. Well,
But-
let me ask you. We got to get into a couple things here. All right.
Okay.
All right. It's not only proving flat Earth. I mean, I'm not saying I'm proving flat Earth whatsoever. I am just showing people about flat Earth that NASA lies. Tomorrow's the anniversary, of their launch here in the U.S.
Apollo 11
1969.
or whatever.
Yeah, Apollo 11, exactly. Very good. Very good. And my question, the one question I do have for everybody is the Van Allen belts. Because back in 1959, a scientist said that we can't go beyond that Van Allen belt because we're all going to get radiation or anything like that. But apparently we have been traveling back and forth back from 1969 to 1972 6 or 7 times in such a short period of time. We never went back. The astronauts are obviously all right. No radiation at all, no disease at all that they've had. And that concerns me in a way because I don't think they ever went there.
Well, I've heard a lot of, like even you can call it a conspiracy theory that this was set up in a studio somewhere in Hollywood, the whole bit. There is actually bands that make fun of this.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like Rammstein, they have one song called America, and it starts with the landing on the moon, and they're kicking stuff there, And
so what's when they took that
a lot of people don't believe that anybody has been on the moon or anywhere, but
I mean, do you feel like you're moving?
well, according to the science that I've been exposed to, like physics,
Yeah.
your mass cannot compare with the mass of the gravity field of the Earth, so you can't feel like moving. That's what your brain is taught.
That's what the brain is taught.
That you don't move.
Yeah.
You move with the gravity field of the planet you're walking in because you're like dust as far as mass goes.
Yeah, I mean, you're part of the planet.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're not stuck to it, but you're so small that you move with the whole thing. But what can I tell you about thinking about flat Earth? As I said, you take a child, close them in the room, and tell that child that this is the whole.
This is the reason why I complain about
the
this
whole
freaking-
universe.
sorry.
The whole universe is that room, and this window is the space that you can see. He will believe you. Oh shoot. So far, people have been exposed to a lot of science, a lot of facts. Quotation, facts. Now that's in quotation because fact is something that I consider like a known, something like a touch, smell, and feel. Now, if you give me facts that are written or video, I don't see these facts. I haven't seen it with my eyes. I haven't been there, so I don't give a shit what they say. For me, if I experience the whatever 6G, 10G acceleration to get out of the magnetic field, I mean,
the atmosphere. Yeah, I mean, right off the planet, right here. Yeah. Sorry, my arms getting a little tired over here.
It may be a good experience.
Yeah.
But the other theory is that, like the moon, if everything is spinning, for example.
Well, let's take a look at
if the moon is always facing one side because of its rotation,
that's what I wanted to bring up with you.
Why nobody went on the other side to see what's going on there?
I mean, you realize apparently the entire solar system, the moon,
our satellite, yeah.
Our satellite, very good, is the only one that's stationary, that only points toward our planet. Out of every single...
It's like an eye, obviously.
Yeah,
like a always watching eye.
Yes.
Nothing slows down the rotation.
Nothing.
Or accelerates
it's just up there like a picture.
Yeah, and just going. So,
yeah, no, it is amazing, isn't it? I mean, it really is. And, I mean, Saturn has, I don't know, how many planets? Like 19 or 20 planets?
Yeah, satellites. So they all have to interfere with each
and
other.
they're moving all around,
yeah.
they're revolving, and we're the only one
Some astronomer will say, well, this is how we set up the perfect distance, the tilt of the moon, and blah, blah, blah. The mass compared to the Earth mass is doing, I don't know. Everybody will give you some different explanation. But one thing, and that's again my opinion, for sure is that if you have 8 billion people already on this planet.
Yeah, probably 7. Who knows what
Whatever.
the real number is? It's
Forget
probably
the number.
bullshit anyway.
These people have to eat something. They have to be occupied with something.
They have to work.
Of course they.
Of course.
That's number
You
one.
got to make money.
Yeah, they have to feed
And
the
if
system.
they don't,
And they even need entertainment. So people, and that's an old thing. When God got bored with the people, He gave them boredom.
yes.
So
You're
they can
absolutely
look for
correct about that.
For something to entertain Him. And I'm not saying that from a religious point. I just
No, there's no religious point
No.
because we now know there is a God.
The question is, who creates
Jesus Christ is up there.
pathetic creature as we are, with such a poor software that actually, as far as biology goes, and again I'm going back to my old science studying, your heart is programmed to beat about 1 billion times and stops. If this doesn't happen, you start to pile enormously, very fast, cholesterol. So your heart gets clogged in and it dies. You know, heart attack, massive, bye. If this doesn't happen, your membranes on the cells, the DNA tells them it's time, they stop to work properly.
But what happens
And
if
don't
it's...
exchange the water.
Okay.
So you dry
All right.
and you die. Bye.
Okay, all right.
So
all right.
why will somebody create something so pathetic if it's such a higher power that could create something that continuously can evolve without
Yeah.
changing shapes and forms and the other
Okay, we're
religion,
going into a different...
reincarnation.
We're going into
But
totally
the idea,
different...
the idea is
Okay.
whatever and whoever created all this stuff.
But it's a simple...
Why we have to believe in everything that they say, that the earth is a circle or flat in that matter, or a pyramid or whatever.
But what I'm saying is that it's not a flat disc floating around in space. It's actually flat,
One dimension?
covered with a dome.
Oh, you mean
Possibly, I can't be held to it. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not God,
Of course.
and there is no space at all. So the planets and everything up there are completely a light show, basically.
That's a good philosophy point of view, but somebody has to do that, you know. So there gotta be something much bigger
Somebody has to do that.
to put that flat earth, cover it with this cap so we don't fly away.
Exactly. That's my point. Somebody has to do that.
And the question
And that's
is
the
why?
big thing with religion. You know, I mean, that really is a major
Religion
thing.
is a major thing that
Yeah. Somebody had to have actually done it. You said it. You said it perfectly. Somebody
the
had to
question
do
is, if we can get the purpose,
that. Mhm.
how long we have to wait till we figure out ourselves? Are we ever gonna figure it out ourselves?
Mhm.
Or when we serve our purpose, we'll be just wiped out and something else will be put on our place.
That's another civilization. Holy shit. You see, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, the guys who made that movie, these two brothers, The Matrix,
Yeah,
This
the
was
Matrix.
very-
all right.
very
I'll
close.
acknowledge the Matrix. I
Very
haven't seen
close.
the movie.
Hmm?
Okay. All right.
very close to your philosophy.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But in different sci-fi manner, you know.
Yes,
Or-
but what happens if there were previous civilizations prior to us?
I don't know. You're Greek, I'm Bulgarian.
Yeah, Bulgarian.
So
Okay.
we're in the area where the cradle of civilization started, actually.
Sure.
Bulgaria and Greece, not
Yes.
Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
They proved that in the recent years, digging in the Black Sea, finding old stuff, more than 12,000 years old, golden stuff. Treasures.
Yeah, a treasure. But not only that, what happens if that building is being built upon an ancient civilization that was prior to us?
Oh no, there gotta be more than 4 civilizations as far as facts.
Mhm.
So we are maybe 5th generation on this project.
Yeah.
The question is how we are failing, why we are failing, finding so much artifacts for why the other civilization failed. They failed because they reached a critical mass, in my opinion, of their greed. Like the pharaohs, they wanted to be immortal. So they spent years and years and years to build a damn tombstone for their unknown journey after death. So this is pure greed. This is pure vanity. So this was the fail of many civilizations when they reached the top, and they start to be arrogant.
So like life, I mean, you know, okay, all right, fine. So when, when you die, perhaps, where do you think you go? I mean, really?
Well, I've been in that situation very close to dying.
Yeah,
a
I've
number,
heard it.
a
I've
number
heard it.
of times. And
I have, but I really don't remember.
It's a warming feeling. People are afraid from death, and
Mhm.
that's the
course.
self-defense mechanism. That's another
Yeah.
software
Yeah.
glitch.
Yeah.
You know, But once you bypass this glitch, which is unavoidable when you get to circumstances where you actually are messed up and you die bleeding, whatever, crash, doesn't matter. In my case, was freezing. And you get this peaceful feeling, and I guess this is another software.
Well, that's the
kicks in.
you keep bringing up software.
Well, because the computer,
Yes.
the computer,
So you're talking
Era.
Matrix and the software.
Yeah.
And what happens if I
And
tell
it's a
you that there could be a quite
copy.
possible chance that we possibly could be in a simulation right now?
it could be, why not? Like a test. But
There
with
you
a lot
go.
with a lot of experimental material.
Yeah, yeah. And who knows who the creator is?
Like in a lab for medicine. Let's
Yeah,
see
this
how
is exactly
10,000
why.
rats
Yeah, this is
will react
exactly
on
why
our
I did this,
medicine.
my friend. You see, it takes somebody like you from a different country that understands the nonsense that's going on, because everybody is so indoctrinated here in this area that they
I'm not
can't
the
even
one.
understand this.
In America, I noticed one thing.
Yes, you see.
Uh,
Sorry.
When I came in America, you know, everything was okay.
Mhm.
The only thing that today I will admire about America is the enforcement of the law, where you have to get your paycheck. If you don't get your paycheck, let's say you work for me and I'm not paying you
Yeah.
for 2 months, you're gonna go in the police, report me, I'm done.
Yeah, yeah.
In my part of the world, I can do that 1 year. You can beg me like a beggar on my front door, and I'll kick you in the head and I'll tell you, go back to your workplace. When I come there, you're gonna get your money, but don't dare to come in my house to ask me for money.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you
In
know,
America, that's a good thing. You get your money when you work.
well,
But
it's different. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I agree.
everything else, when you look at it, as one of my friends says, it's a fake advertisement,
Mhm.
even for outside of America. It's a
Well-
propaganda to bring young people to work and blah blah blah. So, as a dominant country over the whole planet, America is taking and taking and taking.
But it's
Not
all
the people, not
like,
the American
well, like
people.
you said, the propaganda. It's all there
Fake advertisement,
to confuse you. Okay, the politicians, Hollywood, all the other crap, the
Those are
music.
machines. Yeah.
Okay, it's all part of the entire matrix, like you should say.
Yeah,
All right?
or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Matrix,
exactly, exactly.
factory.
What happens if you figured out in 1960 or 1959 that the Earth was flat, and all the information, you know, that was led up to that area had to have been changed? Would you tell anybody?
Well,
Could you? Could you completely change science? I mean, could you change all of that? You can't.
You can't. It's too late.
No.
It's like this is a good one.
But this is holding for every country in the entire world.
yeah, but this is a good one. I remember when first the sheep was cloned in England, the sheep Dolly, the first cloning. These scientists got so arrogant that they went in some small village in Switzerland, which they have a ritual every year. They take some little canister or jar or whatever, which contain dry blood of Jesus, for example.
Okay.
That's the reality.
Are you
It
on
was
there? Can you see?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what's happened was these guys went there and asked the priest or whatever if they can have one drop of that blood, even though it's dry. And they tell him, we can clone your Jesus. Vatican went nuts. Cloning was forbidden in
Oh,
very,
don't get me started with that.
very,
Yeah, the
very
Vatican.
quickly.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it was very
Yeah.
quickly forbidden. So now they say the cloning is moved in Africa, blah blah blah. I don't care where it's moved.
You want to hold it for a second? I don't know. It's hurting my fucking arm. All right, there we go.
So, as is of today, the 19th of July 2019.
July 20th.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
get these
whatever.
dates all the time mixed up. People think I have
It's
a time machine.
getting into a very, you know, I watch the television only to hear what will be the temperature. So we are hitting some enormous.
What is it right now? 90 degrees?
I work in Celsius, so for me it's hot.
Oh, you
That's
work
it.
in sales?
Yeah.
Oh, sell me something.
Whatever the temperature is, the brain is meant to work up to 33 degrees Celsius. So what's happened after this? You go into a mock. Put the people in a heated room and ask them after 2 hours simple question and wait for intelligent answer. You're gonna wait a long time.
Yes.
Because their device here is not meant to work on that temperature. They want to cool off. They don't care what you're going to ask them, what you're going to give them. They want cool air. That's it. So as far as flat Earth,
sorry.
dome that covers the experiment.
I don't know. I have
scientists
no
walking
idea
around,
what's covering us.
we've been microbes.
All I know, it seems to me,
It is
know,
purposeless
yeah,
for
it is.
us.
Yeah.
So if we don't get any benefits and we work all our lives, unless it's an art and you enjoy it,
Mhm.
it's a waste of your time. And that's why I think the good wealthy countries, like the Scandinavian countries,
Yeah.
it's not the climate that kills these people and brings them to number one in suicides, like Norway or Japan on the other side of the
But,
world.
I mean, really.
They just realize that there is nothing more left to do. No
Okay.
purpose.
All right, I understand that.
So they start to kill themselves in a very big number, young people.
Sure, sure. But I mean, my problem is that, I mean, most people don't care about it because they just say, why? Why would they do something like that? Why would they lie about something like that? But I mean, you're talking about changing the entire scientific community from day one.
You're talking about resetting 8 billion
The whole
computers.
brain.
Yeah, 8 billion
Exactly.
computers.
Okay, so exactly. Okay,
And if you skip one, then you get a glitch, which
Yeah.
will be a problem for the whole
it would
society.
be a problem for the whole society.
Yep.
Exactly. All right.
So it doesn't matter how the great bankers or whoever is the architect of the world's new order thinks they are great
Mhm.
with cloning organs and immortality dreams and shit. They will go in a hole. Doesn't matter what kind of shape. Ashes or body or whatever. Because we have saying in my country, you come out from a hole, you live in a hole, and you go down in a hole.
So let's bring up a couple things here with flat Earth. All right. I want to know the sun supposedly is 93 million miles away. Okay.
150 million kilometers. Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. Okay. Kilometers. Very
I
good.
work in
very good.
non-imperial
Okay.
measurements.
And
much easier.
and the moon is supposed to be 268,000 miles.
400,000 kilometers.
400,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Perfect. You are excellent. I love this.
10 times the distance
10
of the
times the
equator is
exactly.
the straight line
Okay.
to the moon in its best close orbit or whatever. I don't know.
So we are the only people, apparently the only civilization, that have been able to actually be able to see a solar eclipse that have been so perfect to line up. So as a mathematician, how is that conceivably possible?
In a three-dimensional world, you gotta have something called I forgot the English word for it.
Sorry about my
A
hand.
point.
here.
A point of view, which
Yeah.
is steady, and another point of view
Mhm.
for a checkup. Because if you actually are moving, then you need another object to compare your motion. But if everything is moving, how are you gonna trust the other object as being as a checkup? Let's say in a two-dimensional world, if you take stick one and stick two, and you
Oh,
measure,
she's calling.
Yeah,
She's
my wife
getting
is calling.
pissed.
you have 90
Sorry,
degrees.
we're gonna have to go back home.
That's a simple mathematics.
Yeah,
Two
I hope
parts,
it was a good conversation.
3 parts equal to 5 parts. Then you have 90-degree angle.
Mhm.
But if everything is moving with a different speed, driven by different forces, magnetic or
Sure.
no, I always say magnetic. It's
No, I know. It's
gravitational
probably
forces.
gravitational
Yeah.
force. Yeah.
Well, then
Which
this,
doesn't exist, by the way. What is the definition of gravitation? And what's dark matter?
dark matter. That's another interesting question. As far as
And
I
the
have,
Van Allen belts.
I
Are they
don't-
dangerous for the astronauts?
I don't think about dark matter in the way the science presents it. I think about
Okay.
energy.
Dark energy. Okay.
Not a matter. It's of course it's gotta be some matter. The energy is a material thing, you know.
Sure.
You can't touch it, but it does exist in some way.
Mhm.
My opinion again. I'm not the big brain, but I think the dark matter is a combined strength of
It doesn't exist.
everything.
It's all bullshit.
No, of everything that we can't understand.
Exactly. That's my point, and that's exactly
So
what
we
gravity
call it
is.
something
Okay.
like the necessity of religion.
All
People
right.
need to believe in something,
They need to believe in
Yeah.
something,
so
and
we
that's
have
what they
religion.
created it.
But the science doesn't believe in religion, so they have the dark matter
Mm-hmm.
because we can't see what happened
Sure.
there.
Sure.
We can only. Yeah, let
She's
me.
getting pissed now.
Yeah, she's
All right.
pissed. You know,
All right. I thank you for.
I
Viewing.
am having an interview with one.
No, it's not an interview. It's just kind of a
YouTuber.
hangout.
It's a video, vlog. Yeah, actually, he got me here to discuss that. I know you don't know what I'm.
All right, thanks guys for subbing here. All right, I
Okay.
appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna end it right now. All right, I'll get back to you.
You know, this was you should end it because this was another thing I wanted to say. The American woman, the next big